Hello, and welcome back to Let's Get Lit. In this episode, we'll be discussing Chapter 19 of the Odyssey. Remember, the previous 18 chapters are on YouTube for your listening pleasure, so catch up before you head into spoiler territory. Alright, everyone ready? Awesome. Odysseus is left in the house with Telemachus, and they come up with a plan to get rid of all of the armor and put it in the storeroom. Telemachus has Euraclyea lock all of the maids in their rooms. He tells her that he's going to put away all of the suits of armor into the storeroom. She asks who's going to help him since the maids are in their room and no one else is really left in the house. Telemachus says that the old beggar will help him. The nurse does as she is told, and Athena lights their way as Telemachus and Odysseus take the armor away. Odysseus tells Telemachus to go to bed. He has to talk to Penelope. Telemachus agrees and goes into his room. Penelope comes down and the maids set the table. Melantho comes down and scolds Odysseus, and she calls him out. Penelope overhears and scolds Melanthos for scolding Odysseus. Penelope asks her head maid to bring a seat. She does, and Odysseus sits. Penelope asks Odysseus who he is, where he comes from, etc., etc. Odysseus asks her to ask other questions except these. She will soon get to know everything about him in due time. Penelope goes on to tell him about how she has been tricking the suitors for years until they found out about her. She says all of this and again asks Odysseus where he's from. Odysseus then makes up a grand story and tells her how he met Odysseus and how Odysseus showed him great mercy and hospitality. She cries and then asks him questions to verify that he, the old beggar, met Odysseus. She asks him what he looks like, what he was wearing, who his shipmates were, and what they wore. Odysseus tells her everything in full detail, even down to the purple robe Penelope had made for Odysseus and the pin that he wore. He then gives a good description of Odysseus and the other crewmen. She is dumbstruck and can't believe the old man knew so much. She tells him that she will show the old man much favor. Odysseus then tells her that he knows Odysseus is coming back very soon, that he promised her. Penelope doesn't believe him. She believes Odysseus is still dead. She tells her servants to make a place for the old man. He will stay at the house, eat his fill, and dress nicely. She will see to it that he is treated like a king. Odysseus tells her not to spoil him. He is a noble man and doesn't require special treatment. He asks if an old respectable maid could wash his feet, though. Everyone leaves except Odysseus and Euraclyea. When she goes to wash his feet, she sees a scar on his foot and instantly recognizes him. She gets so excited and begins to weep with joy. Homer then goes on to tell the history of how Odysseus got the scar on his foot from a wild boar, and how his grandfather named him Odysseus, meaning anger. Odysseus makes her swear that she won't tell anyone he's here. She promises and also tells him that she will give him a list of maids who were traitors to the house. Odysseus tells her that he can use his own judgment for that, but thanks. Euraclyea goes and gets more water, washes him, and he takes his place by the fire. He hides his scar, and Penelope begins to talk to him. She tells him about a dream she had and asks him to interpret it for her. She tells about how in her dream there were 20 geese that she had, and how an eagle came down and killed all of them. The eagle then talks to her and tells her he is Odysseus and has come back to save her. Odysseus says that it's pretty obvious what the dream is about, and they talk about it no further. Penelope then tells Odysseus about the competition she has set up for tomorrow. She says that her husband used to line up 12 axes in a row and shoot an arrow through them. She will set this up, and whichever suitor can do this, she will marry. They then part ways and go to sleep. This is the end of Chapter 19 of the Odyssey. I hope you're enjoying these podcasts, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Have a great one, and as always, stay lit.